Okay, so now we're gonna do the saddle, and I'll show you how to fit that, and then adjust the action. So we've already adjusted it here with that feeler gauge, so I have it where I want it here. So all we got to do is put this in, and then adjust that, and I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty cool. Okay, so what I have here is a saddle that I bought. I ordered from Luthiers Mercantile, and it's just a piece of bone, cow bone, unbleached cow bone, I believe. And yeah, you know, I've used ivory before, and I used to really be into ivory. I thought that was the thing. And then I used it so many times, and then when I tried, I ran out once, I put a bone back on. I go, oh man, I kind of like the sound of the bone again, you know? So I've gone back and forth. Right now, I just like bone. It depends on the guitar. If it's a really like thuddy, not very bright kind of guitar, bone can help that. It'll kind of boost up the brightness of the guitar a little. So it really depends on the particular guitar. Sometimes it can benefit by a piece of bone, or it can benefit by a piece of ivory, or walrus, tusk. There's all kinds of stuff. You'll go crazy trying to figure it out. But anyway, this is bone. And this is just standard how I get it from Luthiers Mercantile. The dimensions, let me see here. 3.18 millimeters thick. My bridge saddle here says 3.60. And so when I put it in there, it has a nice snug fit. As you can see, I'm trying to move it, it's staying in there, and I can just lift it right out. And that was by pure luck, you know. Normally, I use a router tip. I think it's 1/8 router, so it matches this perfectly. And I like the wider saddles as opposed to the real thin ones. I just think it has a more grounding sound to it. So anyway, I lucked out here. Now, if you have to do this on your own guitar, let's say somebody wants to adjust their action, make a new saddle, you're just going to have to buy a blank and then somehow sand it down to the correct thickness to fit in the slot. So there's a number of things you could do to do that, at home. Like I do it on the drill press and a sander, and it takes me like, you know, 3 seconds, you know. But you just got to get a flat surface. This happens to be a diamond, 120 grit diamond file, and you just got to, you know, sand it back and forth until you get it the right thickness. Keeping in mind that you want to keep a 90-degree angle to the bottom of the saddle and everything. So, you know, it's difficult without power tools, but I don't know what to tell you. There is no other way to do it. Now, or you don't need to get one of these. You can get let's just say this is a piece of wood. And then you get a piece of sandpaper. This happens to be kind of sticky on the back. And you can do it this way. Sand it. Just make sure it's all the same, you know. It's easy to get one part thinner than the other, but I would just, you know, if you have a clamp and a table, you can clamp this down on the table and do it, so you don't have to hold this and do it like that, you know. So anyway, that's what you got to do. Okay, so now how I adjust the action. I get a little ruler. This one is not in millimeters, it's inches. And then I get a big straight edge, you know. Yeah, it's 2 feet. And I know that I want the action on the treble side to be 4/32. I don't do millimeters only because I've just been doing, there's so many things I do in millimeters And this is just one of those things that I've done over the years that I've done in inches, and I'm just more in tune with it in the inches and with the millimeters. So forgive me, all the purists out there. But so what I'm doing is I'm adjusting this. I've clamped this ruler on the straight edge. The straight edge represents the string. Okay, this is exactly right here, 4/32 of an inch. So what I'm going to do, so it's 4/32 of an inch, and we're measuring, that measurement is from the top of the 12th fret to the bottom of the string, just like this straight edge is a string, okay? So what we're going to do, we just set this here on the 12th fret, you see. Okay, and I lift it just a hair here at the first fret because, you know, it's got to clear the first fret a little bit. And later I go back and I do all the finer tuning kind of stuff. So anyway, this is the easiest thing to do. You just, this represents a string as it goes down the fingerboard and it hits the saddle. Okay, so now we'll put the saddle in. Put our saddle in here, and I don't put it all the way to the edge because I'm running this straight edge down here, and I'm seeing where it hits. And it's hitting right there. So I'm going to mark it right there. Okay, so that's the height of the saddle on the treble side, set at 4/32 of an inch. So now I'm going to set the bass side at 5/32 of an inch. And quite frankly, these millimeters and inches are almost the same to me, but so slide this over, got the bass string, and I don't think you're going to be able to see this in the video, but as you can see, mark it there. Okay. And I always kind of mark the good side that you're going to use because otherwise it can get very confusing.